Hi, it's me, Tracy, your literary and tea time companion, with a flask of tea today. TJ and I have some time off, and we just did a workout, and we have packed up our breakfast as a picnic, and we thought we would take it to the park. And I thought I would take you along with us and do a read with me in the park. We will see how this goes because it is very hot here in Norway at the moment. It is 35 degrees Celsius. It's been hot. We will see how we do in the heat this morning and just have some reading time together. I will check in with you later with the reading, and this will be a bit of a combo video this time. Read with me. There will be a write with me segment, as well as thinking of this as a reading wrap-up video as well. As you might have noticed, we're doing things a little bit differently here in the month of July. So I hope that you will grab your cozy beverage, your books, and join me for some fun reading time together. I hope that you've been enjoying your reading or whatever else you might be doing along with me today. Maybe you are writing or making your dinner, folding your laundry, working on a project. I hope you will tell me all about how you've been enjoying our time together. And I'm going to sit with a writing session, and I thought that I would have you join me today. And I'm in a really good spot with my novel. I don't talk about my novel too often, so if you're here, I'm working on a novel. This is my first novel, my first longer written piece. And I'm at the second act, and I follow a 3-act, 9-block, 27-chapter outline, roughly. I say roughly because I use it just sort of as a bit of a framework, because I already know that this book is going to have more than 27 chapters. It's going to be more than that. It's a big story. And I haven't talked a lot about it because I'm very much in the trenches of writing it. And as I say, I'm working toward the midway point. And the story is set in a medieval time period, fantasy, elements, magic. That doesn't sound all that original, I'm sure, but I'm loving my story so far. I love my characters. I don't talk a lot about things like word counts and those things either, which I know is a big topic in AuthorTube. Ultimately, a finished work, word count matters, especially when one is working toward publication. But for right now, I'm not so very preoccupied with the stats. I'm mostly focusing on quality writing, quality story, and I'm just really enjoying the whole process right now. And if it's not too often I'm speaking about it, it's mostly just because I'm just still working on it. So I like to use our read together times occasionally as a writing session. And it's a good time for us to be together and share just some quiet moments doing something that we love. And so I'm going to get started with some writing. It is actually a really lovely late afternoon, early evening. So I thought it might be nice to sit out on the patio with a drink and write for a little while. I will check in with you soon, and we can share how our reading, our writing, our project is going. I'll see you soon. hope you've been having a good week. I've been filming this over a couple of different days, and I really enjoyed the breakfast and reading in the park. I hope that you enjoyed coming along for that, and a different day where I was working on some writing. Thank you for keeping me company while I was doing some writing. And now for today, we're going to be wrapping up the month of July already with our reading. And I really wanted to just quickly take a moment to say a great big heartfelt thank you for all of you who've left some very wonderful comments on my recent posts. It's been a hard time since we lost our kitty, our little girl, Luna, and I thank you for all the kindness and care coming our way. My husband TJ and I, we've these first weeks and days without her have been really hard. Yes, we were so blessed to have 8 years with her. Her health just declined very quickly, and it was very shocking, quite frankly. We're pulling through. We were just so glad to have her, and we are very thankful for your kindness and care as we go through a bit of a wobbly time. Our hearts are feeling very wobbly these days. They really are. But I also just wanted to say a big thank you also for more lovely comments coming in. I'm so glad that the Reading for Sensitive Souls video resonated with so many of you, and I'm thankful for the new subscribers who are joining our little community here, our safe and loving community of book lovers here. Thank you so much. And I hope that you will join me for a cup of something. This is just an English breakfast tea. It is morning here. It is actually very hot. I had a fan on, but I've had to turn it off. It was making too much noise. And if you do hear a noise, of course, a neighbor is doing some work in their garden. I think they're mowing the lawn. So it is summer here. So I hope you have a nice cup of something, and we'll gather around the sofa here for some talk about our books from this month. And I look forward to hearing all about yours. A book that I read at the top of July was Will Prescribe You a Cat by Siyu Ishida. And I did highlight this book in one of my most recent videos, the books for loss, grief, and healing. So if you would like to hear more about this book, I recommend that you check out that video, as well as some other great books and resources if maybe you are in a difficult period right now. A book about cats will always heal the soul, in my opinion. But there are some other great books and resources there, so please do check that out. So I will set this aside for now, since I've already spoken about this lovely book about cat stories. And I do have. I would say that most of July was fiction this time. And another great read, a novella, was Convenience Store Woman by Sakaya Murata. This is the Norwegian edition that my local library had. I didn't want to wait for ordering in English, and it's been a lovely read. We meet Kaiko, and she, from an early age, has a difficult time coping in life. She doesn't fit in with even her family, other people. School is a very difficult time, and social situations seem to dissolve into people not understanding her. Not from a language perspective, but maybe from an emotional perspective. So there are a lot of tough situations for her, and she's sort of bumbles through life a little bit. But then when she's 18, she takes a job in a 24/7 convenience store in Tokyo. And what transpires there is that for the first time in her life, she feels she has a purpose, a value. there is the efficiency of running a convenience store sits well with her personality, and it is interesting to see how she develops along the way. And then we go forward in time a little bit, and there's a lot of pressure on her by others around her, family, co-workers, others that are sort of needling away at her about things that society is often preoccupied with like, what is the good job? What is the best job? What you should be doing? Why is she not married? Why are there no children? Some of those bigger topics that for her were not topics. Not that they didn't matter, but she had other priorities, and the merging of who she is with what the rest of society thinks she ought to be is something that she grapples with. And something happens in this story that I won't give any spoilers if you have not read this one. This was the author's debut quite a few years back. I'm not sure how I missed this because I love Japanese literature and Japanese translated literature. But something happens that causes her to really bump up against, do I need to make a change? Do I need to do something different? And things have a way of working out. I really loved the writing. I loved the story. I could really relate to Kaiko and the sort of difficulty of the awkwardness of some social situations. I really loved this book. I enjoyed it very much. And in a similar vein, in that this is Korean translated literature, and this is the Rainfall Market by Yeong-Gwang, and this is just this is such a sweet story. I'll read the blurb for you. On the first day of the monsoon, an old ramshackle building appears. This is the Rainfall Market. Inside, you will find magical bookstores, hairdressers, perfumeries, and anything your heart desires. But you cannot enter without an invitation. Siren, who lives in a small flat with her mother and dreams of a bigger, better life, can't believe her luck when she receives a ticket, inviting her to step inside the Rainfall Market. Once inside, she will have the opportunity to swap her life for a new one, a better one. Accompanied by Isha the cat and followed by a mysterious shadow, Siren tentatively steps inside. There she is told she has just 1 week to choose the perfect life and find true happiness. However, there is a catch. If she doesn't find her dream life, she'll be trapped inside the market forever. I just really loved this sweet story. This novella was just really charming. I loved that. I loved the sort of magical realism. I just loved everything about it. It was just enchanting. And of course, a story with a cat is warming my heart extra much these days. Yeah, I just really enjoyed the simplicity of the story of a girl trying to find happiness in life. I can really recommend this as just a sweet and cheerful, lovely little read. If it's you might notice a little bit of a theme with the Asian translated literature, especially Japanese translated literature lately, and I've always loved it. I'm reading a little bit more of it recently, and that is also because I'm very excited to be finally taking a course in the Japanese language, which is something I've wanted to do for a long time. Japan is a place I've wanted to visit for a long time. I haven't gotten there yet. Maybe one day. Keep dreams alive. But in the meantime, I'm really looking forward to trying the Japanese language. And I'm taking an online course, but I have a couple of books, phrase books, dictionaries, to just a little kickstart before I get started at the beginning of August. So you might notice a bit more, especially Japanese translated literature here. And I thought that that would be maybe a nice segue into continuing the topic of Japan. Another great read this month has been Abroad in Japan, 10 Years in the Land of the Rising Sun by Chris Broad. And this was such a fun read. Chris shares his time in Japan as an English teacher in the country, and all of the mishaps, the trials and triumphs that occur. He is from the UK, now living in Japan, also continuing to learn the language, which he did not know before he went to Japan. So this is a complete experience, and it is just action-packed. There is something in every chapter that it feels very fast-paced, but there's also a lot of tenderness too, as he's sharing his experience living in a different culture with a completely different language, the modes and customs of the people, traveling to different places, which is great fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of heart. It's a lot of warmth. There's a lot of laughs. It's so funny. There were at times it reminded me of some of the work of Bill Bryson, sort of that really hilarious self-deprecating humor, and of course with being British, some British witticisms that, well, really the British, the English just just excel at. So this was just so much fun. It really fuels my desire to want to visit Japan for the beauty, the food, and just there's so many really wonderful things. This book was such a great read. I loved it so much. And that would be in the nonfiction category. And I have one more nonfiction this time, and that is the Magic of Silence. Caspar David Friedrich's Journey Through Time by the German writer, journalist, and art historian Florian Illies. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. I forgot to check the pronunciation before I sat down to film. This is a wonderful book. This is sort of a blend of art history, but one would also need to go into this knowing that the author takes a little bit of creative license in that he's also creating the story of Caspar David Friedrich, his life as an artist and his works. And so it reads a little bit like of course, like an art history book might, but also has sort of like a biopic quality to it as well. I personally enjoyed it, and I think if you are a fan of this German romantic movement artist's work, then you will appreciate to sort of the both the liveliness of the story presented of his life and the factual information about his life and his work. He created some of the most beautiful artwork of the Romantic period, landscapes primarily. He just portrayed landscapes with such emotional depth, sometimes with melancholy, and it is interesting to understand how his work was perceived through time, and during his lifetime, not as much recognition as an artist would have appreciated. He had some patronage, but it was later in time that he became appreciated more, but also disrespected as well. A lot of his paintings were burned, which feels shocking to us to think about now, but in these times, well, I'll stay on topic. It's shocking to think about how many of his paintings were burned, and during World War II, some very heavy negativity towards his work. I'm a big fan of the artist, and I have been for most of my life when I encountered his work in an art history book when I was a teenager, and this particular scene is just beautiful. I'm sorry for the shine. It's a library book with quite a thick plastic cover. The book does contain several beautiful color plates of some of the artist's various works. The one on the cover. What's also interesting about this work is that the 4 elements are used as kind of a way to organize and explore the artist's work and his life. Fire, water, air, earth. I found that really interesting. I thought that added an extra element to the reading. As I say, I'm a big fan. I enjoyed this book so much. If you are interested in art, and especially if you are interested in the work of Caspar David Friedrich, I can really recommend this book. This is a new English translation. I can really recommend. During July, I also enjoyed a little bit of manga, and there are a couple of series here that I've been enjoying. One of them being Spy Family, which I have talked about before. I began this last December, the past December, and this is volume 13, and I'm caught up to the current publication, or at least the release of the books in English by the story and the art by Tatsuya Endo. And maybe you have heard of Spy Family, especially if you are interested in manga, or maybe you have seen the series on television, which is also a lot of fun. I just love the story about the spy and his fake family and a mission to save the world. I love it so much, and I always love to see what the cover art is going to be. Everyone that features in the series gets to be on the cover eventually. These are some of yours office workers, the Twilight, the spy's fake wife. I've spoken about this series before, and I love it. It's a lot of fun. I really love it. Another series that I began last month in June, and this is the second volume, A Sign of Affection by Siyu Morishita. And this is such a sweet story about Yuki. She is 19. She's a college student, fresh in college. She can't hear. She is deaf. And volume 1 began with a very sweet encounter she had on the train with an older student. And he can hear, but their communication, or trying to communicate, is the basis of the story. And she falls very hard for Itsumi, and she falls very hard for him, and it's just so charming how they're learning to communicate with sign language. He's trying to learn a little bit of sign language to better communicate with her. Lip reading, different signs, using mobile phones to as a stopgap measure. It's just really, really, really sweet. The artwork is it's really nice. It's very emotional, has a beautiful emotional quality. I am really enjoying it just so much. It's just really charming. I'm looking forward to ordering volume 3 through the library and seeing where their journey and where the love story takes them. This is just so sweet. Really, really sweet. I keep saying sweet, charming. It is. Something else that is also very sweet and charming is I've just started this series, My Happy Marriage. The story by Akumi Agitori. Beautiful cover art. This is actually the light novel, that I borrowed through the library interloan. I was trying to get a hold of the manga series as well, but I was having a little bit of difficulty with that, especially in getting all of the volumes. There seems to be a little bit of confusion looking at some of the library listings about which is the light volume series or the manga series. So I will figure that out as I go along, but let me read you the premise of the story. Is this marriage a blessing or a curse? Born talentless to a noble family, famous for their supernatural abilities, Mio Saimuri is forced into an existence of servitude by her abusive stepmother. When Mio finally comes to marriageable age, though, her hopes of being whisked away to better life crumble after she discovers her fiancé's identity. Kyoko Kudo, a commander apparently so cruel and cold that his previous would-be brides all fled within 3 days of their engagements. With no home to return to, Mio resigns herself to her fate and soon finds that her pale and beautiful husband-to-be is anything but the monster she expected. As they slowly open their hearts to each other, both realize the other may be their chance at finding true love and happiness. I enjoyed this so much, and I've seen a little bit of the anime series based on the books. So beautifully done. I'm just enjoying the story that has a very much has a Cinderella quality, but the magic is a bit more interesting, I think. And Mio and Kyoka are just, their interactions are just so wonderful. It's sort of one of those little slow burn type of a situation. It's very sweet romance. I'm really looking forward to ordering book 2. I had seen the manga at a bookshop back in May, and I was really taken with the artwork. So I hope to be able to read the manga eventually as well, and just really enjoying the story and look forward to continuing this new to me manga series. And last for reading for this month, and a manga, or I probably should say more of a graphic novel. This was volume 5, Warchild, Monstress volume 5, Warchild. The story by Marjorie Liu and the artwork by Sana Takeda. This is set in early 20th century Asia, a matriarchal society, and the artwork is just amazing. I've saved a few to share. Just really beautiful artwork. It's quite amazing. This particular volume, some of the artwork is not representing some of the, I would say, Art Deco, steampunk style of art. Very emotional moments in this particular volume. As I get so excited with this, I'm sorry. We follow Maika Half-Wolf, and she is half human, half arcanic, and she is avenging the death of her mother. And she lives within a world that is has been war-torn, and war is on the brink of war again. The smoldering embers of animosity between humans and arcanics have reignited, and a new war has engulfed the known world. Maika Half-Wolf realizes another war of cosmic proportions is fast approaching, but she needs to survive this current battle first. In this 5th volume, Micah must put aside personal betrayals and private revelations to defend the walled arcanic city of Ravenna, the first major target of the Federation of Man. As the battle heats up, Micah and her friends each face difficult decisions, forced to choose between justice or mercy, security or freedom, family or society, and live with the consequences. This particular volume, I feel like I don't want to say a lot because it might give some spoilers, because a lot is happening in this book. Things are erupting in this particular volume in such a way that the war between Arcanics and humans is coming alive, and Micah and her friends, they're suffering. There is a lot happening in this particular volume. I look forward. I started this one in December as well, last December, and it's been difficult to, I'm sorry for the shine on this cover. They're also shiny covers. I've been slowly requesting this through the library interloan system. That's why I'm only on number 5. It's been very difficult to get hold of this one with regular frequency. There are not a lot of volumes around the country, so I'm waiting quite a bit for this one, but it's well worth the wait. I love the artwork. It's very engaging. The story is engaging, and I'm really enjoying it quite a lot, and I'm looking forward to volume 6. And I'm going to take just a pause for a moment. If I'm looking a little bit more dewy and glistening than usual, it's the heat. I'm going to take a moment for a drink. I will meet you right back here. I suppose I could say that July's reading has been short and sweet. I've just needed something sweet to read these days. July has been a bit of a difficult month, and so it was nice to just have some different reading this month. There wasn't too much poetry. I've been writing a lot of my own poetry. I've been doing a lot of writing actually behind the scenes here. A sprinkling of nonfiction, but mostly fiction, and mostly short and sweet. I did not get to reading my Regency selection for this month, the Susan K. duology, None But You and For You Alone, which is a sort of a retelling of Jane Austen's Persuasion, but through the perspective of Captain Frederick Wentworth. That was going to be a reread. I have read it before. I've read those books before, and I enjoyed them so much. I had slated them for July as reading to have while we were meant to be traveling at the first part of July, which we had to cancel. I just didn't get a chance to get around to the reading. I may pick those up again later. We'll see. Looking ahead to August, though, my Jane Austen selection for August is Mansfield Park, which I'm very much looking forward to rereading. I've only read that one a couple of times, so this is going to be a lot of fun next month. Last time I did speak about my last wrap-up video, the end of June. I did talk a little bit about my reading list, my Regency reading list, and how difficult it was becoming for some of the, excuse me, the nonfiction selections that I was trying to find through the library, through library interloan, and how the list that I created back in January seems to be falling apart a little bit. I've been, if you're new here, I have a year-long Jane Austen and Regency period reading happening. Every other month, I have a Jane Austen title, and the other months that I have a Regency period fiction, plus some nonfiction, just to learn even more about the Regency period. It's a time period that I enjoy, I have read about in the past, and I thought it would be very fun for this year-long journey of reading to add a little bit of of the life behind the scenes of the Regency period. Some selections that I had on the nonfiction parts of my list are of older publication dates, and unfortunately, it looks like some of those through the library system here where I'm living in Norway, some of those books are falling out of circulation, and that's part of the reason why it's been difficult to obtain some of the books. So I have made a little bit of a long story, but I have made the decision that I will probably not be adding more of the nonfiction choices to the rest of the year's reading. It could be that I may find something. I have used quite a lot of time trying to track down some books through the library system. And I'm thinking I will just change course a little bit and just use my energy with the fiction selection. So this month I have, in August there will be Mansfield Park. And then in September, I believe I have Belinda lined up, but Belinda by Mariah Edgeworth for September fiction. So I'm disappointed how it's turning out. I had grand plans, and I had very grand plans of sharing all of that here, but it would be just rather difficult and costly for me to purchase those nonfiction works. I really would love to read them, but I don't necessarily feel like I need to own them or spend as much as might be necessary for them. So that will be for August for the Jane Austen and Regency reading. And looking further ahead into August, I have some really good themed videos coming up in a similar vein to some of the recent videos, the reading for the sensitive soul, as well as one I had a little while ago, pairing tea with classic books. So a little bit of special themed videos will be coming up, and I'm really excited about some topics that I'm really just looking forward to sharing along with you, and hope you will join me in some conversations about some really great reading. And I turn this over to you now. Please share with me what you have been reading during the month of July. I really look forward to hearing everything. What were your favorites? What were maybe even some disappointments, or something that you were really excited for but turned out not to be what you were anticipated? I would love to hear everything, high, low, in between. It has been great to have you here with me today for a little bit of everything. This is not the usual way I have approached this video. As I've mentioned, have had to do things a little bit differently during July. And it's been a bit of a fragile time, and I've been still trying to keep doing the things that I love, self-care that is important, and part of that also includes being here with you. So I thank you so much again for being here today. I thank you to everyone who joins in the conversations here. They are so much appreciated. All of the new subscribers, everyone who's been with me for a little while now, I appreciate you all so very much. And so until next time, I wish you happy reading. And as always, I wish you many blessings. I will see you again very soon.